OMFG The MeToo movement has seen women outing movie producers, politicians, and more for sexual assault. We never thought it would reach the Backstreet Boys. Melissa Schuman, singer of the 2000s girl group Dream, has now come forward with a claim that Nick Carter raped her in 2002. In a graphic blog post, Melissa tells her entire story, including trying to come forward and being silenced. Related Ronan Farrow says even more Harvey Weinstein stories are about to come out. According to Melissa, Nick's people reached out to hers to let her know he showed romantic interest in her, something encouraged by her management for obvious PR reasons. Even though she was already dating someone steadily at the time, she accepted the call out of respect and courtesy to my label. Nothing happened at the time, but a few years later they were working on a movie together when it's said he invited her over to his apartment for a casual hangout, in which her roommate and his friend were also present. She says she found him kind and charismatic, so had no qualms when he invited her to his office to listen to some music he was working on. He turned the lights down, and they started kissing. After kissing for a moment, he took my hand and brought me into the bathroom adjacent to his office. He shut the door and we continued to kiss. I asked him what we were doing in there. He didn't respond and continued to kiss me. He then picked me up, put me on the bathroom counter and started to unbutton my pants. I told him I didn't want to go any further. He didn't listen. He didn't care. He told me, "Don't worry. I won't tell anybody." I told him that's not why I didn't want to do it. He took off my pants anyway, and then proceeded to perform oral on me. I told him to stop, but he didn't. So I turned off the bathroom light so I wouldn't see anything. He kept turning the light back on because he told me he wanted to look at me. I remember thinking at that point that maybe after this he will just stop, but he didn't. That's when Melissa says someone knocked on the door, and Nick pulled her into another bathroom. He then took off his pants. I will never forget this moment. There was a bathroom nightlight, so although it was dark, it was dimly lit enough for me to see myself in the bathroom mirror. He sat himself on the bathroom counter and asked me to perform oral on him. I declined. He was upset. He told me, "I did it for you and it's only right you do it for me." I felt scared and trapped. He was visually and clearly growing very angry and impatient with me. I couldn't leave. It was evident to me that I couldn't leave. He was stronger and much bigger than me, and there was no way I would be able to open that door or have anyone help me. My friend couldn't help me. I didn't even know where she was. So when he placed my hand on his penis, my thought was the only way to get out was to get to him to finish what he had started. That's where I saw myself, my reflection, watching myself do something that I was sickened by. Watching myself be assaulted, forced to engage in an act against my will. She says that wasn't enough. Video 16 women accused Trump of sexual harassment and assault in her account. He took her to the bedroom next. He threw me on the bed and climbed on top of me. Again, I told him that I was a virgin and I didn't want to have sex. I told him that I was saving myself for my future husband. I said it over and over again. He whispered in my ear as to entice me, "I could be your husband." He was relentless, refusing to take my no's for an answer. He was heavy, too heavy to get out from under him. Then I felt it. He put something inside of me. I asked him what it was and he whispered in my ear once more, "It's all me, baby." It was done. The one thing I had held as a virtue had been ruined. I went limp, turned my head to my left and decided I would just go to sleep now. I wanted to believe it was some sort of nightmare I was dreaming up. So awful. Later, Melissa writes, she told her manager, Nils Larson, that she wanted to press charges. She says he told her he would look into it but then came back telling her Nick had the most powerful litigator in the country and there was nothing she could do against that. He was right. I didn't have the money, the clout or access to an attorney who was powerful enough to stand up against my abuser's legal counsel. I was told I would likely be buried in humiliation, accused of being fame-hungry, and it would ultimately hurt me professionally as well as publicly. She also says she wasn't even going to come forward after the Harvey Weinstein accusations broke the dam, until she saw a story about another woman Nick had been investigated for assaulting. Until she saw all the horrible comments calling the girl a liar looking for fame. Melissa says there is nothing worse than being victimized and having others call you a liar. Or claim you are looking for 15 minutes of fame. Let me ask this simple question. Who the hell wants to be famous for being raped? I certainly don't want to be known for this. I never wanted anybody to know about my story. I wanted to lock it in a box in my mind and let the memory slowly suffocate as time went on. I feel I have an obligation now to come forward with a hope and intention to inspire and encourage other victims to tell their story. We are stronger in numbers. If you are reading this and you have been assaulted, no, you don't have to be silent and you are not alone. Wow. You can read Melissa's entire post here. Image via Twitter. Tags Backstreet Boys, Dream, Icky Icky Poo, Legal Matters, Melissa Schuman, Nick Carter, Rape, Sad Sad, Scary, Violence. The biggest scandals to ever hit the country music world. 17 Hollywood bigwigs accused of sexual misconduct. 9 horror movies vs. the true stories. They're based on 31 horror movies you can stream on Netflix this October. Former child stars, their scandals since stardom from Fast to Fatality. Biggest festival fails of all time.